close, I think. Okay, good evening. Call the March 11th regular council meeting to order. If you're just joining us from home, we've just experienced 5 public hearings. We're now moving into our regular council meeting. First thing always on our agenda is the agenda itself. I would look for a motion to adopt the agenda as presented. Councillor Reid.
I'll so move the adoption of the agenda as presented.
Thank you. All those in favor, please indicate. Thank you. That carries unanimously. And the adoption of our previous minutes. Councillor Flowers.
I move to adopt the minutes of February 26, 2024.
Thank you. I'll call the question. All those in favor? That carries unanimously. We have no delegations. We do have a bylaw this evening. Bylaw 13, 2024, Water Utility Bylaw Amendment. Mr. Hubble is here to walk us through water utility bylaw amendments.
Good evening, Mayor Janung, Deputy Mayor, Council. It's a pleasure seeing you all again so soon. Tonight, I'm here seeking first reading for amendments to Water Utility Bylaw 13, 2024. Tonight's proposed amendments to the Water Utility Bylaw specifically draw upon the foundational pillar of organizational resiliency. While the October 2023 water wastewater emergency placed significant strain on both our community and operations, it also provided us with an opportunity to apply and evaluate the effectiveness of the emergency response measures within our water utility bylaw. Based on lessons learned during the emergency, Operations is bringing forward modifications to the water utility bylaw which provide enhanced operational flexibility to adapt to the evolving nature of future crisis situations. As I shared last week at last week's Committee of the Whole presentation, strong water-related policies and bylaws have been the backbone of Cochrane's approach to water resiliency and have largely served us very well. Because of this, the bylaw modifications I'm proposing are designed to look and feel like subtle refinements and improvements. The suggested modifications of note include providing clarity to what each of our 3 water restriction levels are and some guidance regarding their intended purposes. During the fall emergency, we relied upon our water bylaw for articulating the current water restriction level to our community, but were somewhat challenged internally as we found there wasn't actually much difference between the measures in levels 2 and 3, and the existing bylaw didn't provide guidance for when to escalate or de-escalate our measures. The suggested enhancements remedy these issues by providing guidance and clarity. Next, providing operational flexibility by introducing language such as may instead of will or shall with regard to application of measures within each water level. During the fall emergency, the rigidity of the current water utility bylaws presented challenges to the operations department from a service delivery perspective. The recommended bylaw modifications will allow greater flexibility during future emergency events. And lastly, from a reservoir resiliency perspective, we are proposing to actually widen the irrigation window to the entire overnight period in lieu of the 2 narrower watering windows we currently mandate. While this recommendation may seem rather counterintuitive considering current drought conditions, our data trends indicate that our current narrow irrigation windows cause acute reservoir drains immediately prior to the high water use morning period. To demonstrate what we're hoping to accomplish, the chart above tells the water use tale of 2 different reservoirs on the same July 2023 day. The blue reservoir trend line shows an unfortunately large morning spike of water use prior to the morning period, whereas the orange trend line demonstrates a system that had the irrigation systems deliberately set to cycle through the entire evening period. You'll note on the orange system there are distinct periods of reservoir discharge and recovery throughout the entire evening, thereby allowing higher reservoir levels prior to the day use period. Essentially, we're looking to smooth that blue irrigation spike over the entire evening. This concludes my presentation. Once again, thank you for your time this evening. We're confident the suggested water utility bylaw improvements will allow clearer communication and more adaptable response during future emergencies. I welcome any comments you may have and respectfully request Council consider my recommendation to provide first reading to Bylaw 13, 2024.
Thank you, Mr. Hubble. Councillor Reid.
Yeah, thank you for your presentation. I'm just trying to understand clearly what, what we're being asked to support.
I am seeking amendments to the water utility bylaw with the changes included in the package. This was a summary this evening, Councillor.
Yeah, we're just trying to summarize it for somebody who is listening or watching. I guess that's what I'm getting at. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Certainly, Councillor. So in summary, pardon me, what I'm seeking Council to support would be clarification and additions in the water utility bylaw, which would provide further clarity to say what level 1 is. In our current bylaw, what it says is level 1, and then it gives some it would give an explanation of what's allowed, but it doesn't tell us inside there or give guidance on when we utilize level 1, or and the same for level 2 or level 3. So level 3, for instance, what our current bylaw says is level 3, all outdoor water use is prohibited. Residential and non-residential use is controlled through district flow restrictions. What we're proposing in level 3 is to give us the flexibility to add the pieces that we experienced during the water wastewater emergency. So we were asking the community to say, cut their showers by half, or these type of ideas. But we didn't actually have anything in our water bylaw that supported anything like that. It was very cut and dry.
Okay. The other question I had was your previous presentation, we talked about water conservation rebate rates and opportunities. There's nothing in this, or is that something that might come later? So water conservation, we have a water conservation rebate program, right, or landscape rebate program. Are we considering opportunities for enhancing that in any way?
Yes, through the chair to Councillor Reid. We are, but not as part of the water utility bylaw amendments I'm bringing forward tonight. That would be more of a budget piece that I'd be bringing forward. It would be
later on.
This equals that. You know, if we want to be enhancing, these are the recommendations, or these the items that we could be entertaining this year, but not for tonight, Councillor Reid.
Okay, but to be clear then, it is in the works and will be part of the budget process.
Yes.
Thank you.
Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, thank you. So I appreciate this update and of course the timeliness of it as we're heading into the summer season and potentially having to deal with drought conditions again. So part of this response, if I remember correctly, is when we were dealing with the emergency, I think level 3 had something like no bulk water sales, and it caused some fairly mass confusion on who was not allowed to do bulk water sales, those type of things. So that's been removed from here, and you're just replacing that with that essential potable water use only line. You just try in a way to kind of simplify things, because I also felt that the levels during the emergency were rather prescriptive, and then even some of the recommendations that were coming out, and I know the team was doing an amazing job in adapting to the timelines, but it was fairly prescriptive, and people started to argue about what made sense and what didn't. But so the intent of this is to be less prescriptive and allow your team to be more adaptive. That's
Through
all
Chair
correct.
Council or Deputy Mayor McFadden, yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Still need a motion, councillors. I'll thank you, Councillor Flowers.
I'll move that council give first reading to Bylaw 13, 2024. And I can tell that you put a lot of thought into it, and you're constantly improving things in the water area, so thank you for that.
Okay, call the question. All those in favor? That carries. Thank you for your presentation. And just before you leave the podium, I saw you in person. I can't remember if that was today or last week, Shane, but you really represented us well on the radio and as part of the presentation you gave last week. We're getting some media attention around that, and thank you for your work there.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay, no business items, no finance. We do have a notice of motion. Councillor Wilson, you're up.
Okay, as we often do, I've got just a little preamble here and then the notice of motion that I wanted to bring forward to the table. Through conversations with the organizers of the annual Kimmett Cup ice hockey tournament, it has come to my attention that the town currently charges facility rental fees, building permit charges, and other fees for charitable events in our community. I would like to have a conversation about 100% charitable causes possibly being excused from all town facility rental fees and building permit costs and other financial obligations to host community events in our community. This fits the spirit of a previous motion this council made last term involving dollar matching incentives for community initiatives. Essentially, dollars committed to community initiatives should have a multiplier effect in Cochrane and be promoted and encouraged by our municipality and this council. The notice of motion that I'm proposing is that council direct administration to return with a briefing on facility rental fees and building permit costs and other fees in regard to 100% charitable events in our community versus non-full charitable events for discussion in an upcoming regular meeting of Cochrane Council.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Wilson. Councillor Reid?
And just two questions of clarification for Council Wilson. One would be that we would hope to identify the potential loss of revenue associated with that. I'm assuming that's part of it. Correct. Yep. And then the other would be, do you want to by a certain date? Are you looking for this by a certain date, or?
I'm glad you asked. I believe I saw May 31st attached to this. That was, I think, from administration, not from myself, but it's good to have a date attached. So
yeah, I was just
May
wondering
31st.
if that was acceptable to administration. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Councillor Flowers?
I'm curious if you're talking about indoor and outdoor use, so would that include the ranch house and the clubhouse and many of the events that happen there?
I'm not sure if I'm supposed to respond directly to each of these, what the protocol is, but.
Sorry, I was asleep. You were taking notes. Please go ahead, I think.
Okay, sure. That's an excellent question, Councillor Flowers. I'd like to hear more from administration what the repercussions would be on that. I just wanted to open this topic up I hear from the one side, when a 100% charitable event is looking to do great things in our community, should we be charging any fees? Or should we be promoting that in every way we can, which means assuming the fees ourselves? And I'm not really sure if that includes both indoor or outdoor. I'd just like to hear the consequences and ramifications from our side of things.
It's a tricky area to get into because there's
Right.
so many groups and so many things happening.
Of course.
But the discussion will be interesting.
Okay, that was a similar question, and I think you partially answered it, Councillor Wilson, that I had, was that will the question to administration cover what the fee currently is for and why? I was approached with this similar question back, and I went through the administrative channels and did some research about, and for the $100 fee, what do charitable, well, any organization, what do they get for the fee? And my understanding was like garbage pickup and takeout and locks unlocked and gates opened and power turned on and cleanup, and there's a whole lot of behind the scenes thing. Will your notice of motion, that's the intent, is to get that story from administration as well?
Correct, and absolutely. And there's even a chance that once we get all the information back, I wouldn't even be promoting my own notice at that point, because it might be clear that what we do is already the correct way to go about things.
Okay.
But yes, I'd like to hear about all those
Okay, perfect.
details.
Yeah, okay. Any other questions, Council? Councillor Wilson, anything to close?
Nope, I hope that you'd support me in this and look forward to the information we receive back.
Okay. I'll call the question. All those in favor of the notice of motion? None opposed? Okay. Thank you, Councillor Wilson. I have no mayor's report tonight. Is there any council reports? Councillor Flowers?
I have prepared one. And first I want to say happy birthday, Mayor Janelle.
Well, thank you.
Hope you celebrate well tonight. Too bad you had to come to a council meeting on your birthday. I just wanted to let you know I went to Beatlemania that seniors on the Bow put on Saturday night, and it was so much fun. Boy, if you give the seniors the music that they love, they just dance right till the very end. Place was just wild. There was actually 3 security guards there with the seniors, but they weren't really needed. It was a lot of fun. I hope they raised lots of money. And I wanted to mention the Wazine House of Oneness is having their Indigenous Arts and Culture Week in Cochrane, starting on the 16th right through the 23rd. There's all kinds of events going on, and I hope you can all get involved in one way or the other. I did send you a letter today that looks suspicious, but please open it. It isn't suspicious. It's just our system. I sent it from my Gmail account.
Fishing exercise, Councillor Flowers.
It is up and up. There's a big dinner on the 23rd of March, a dinner and dance, and tickets are available through Eventbrite, and there's all kinds of things happening throughout the week, so please watch out for that. I attended the FCSS interagency meeting. I hadn't been there for several years. They had 90 people from about 40 different agencies that are probably all nonprofits attend, and just amazing what supports we have for this community. Even though we've grown so much, they are growing too, and they are doing such great work. We're really lucky to have them all here in Cochrane. We toured the West Fraser new building that used to be Spray Lakes Sawmill, and great people working there, and they're going to carry on the wonderful work that's happened in the past, and I think it'll be even a better place to work as they keep making improvements. And Councillor McFadden organized a female networking for elected officials here in Cochrane. We held it at the station, and Karen Sorensen, the senator, spoke to us. It was really interesting to see the path that she's gone on and the work that she does. Thank you for organizing that. I think that's it.
Thank you, Councillor Flowers. Busy as usual. Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, I was just going to highlight that Cochrane hosted the Women's Elected Official Networking Session. We need to come up with a better name. It's way too long. But yeah, it was great. Senator Karen Sorensen attended and spoke with us, and with her long history of public service, from school board trustee to councillor to mayor, to jump a couple levels and go right to senator, and all that work. So yeah, it was just great to kind of be able to get together and share some of her key learnings in her life in public service, and for the group to kind of chat and share some interesting ideas and examples around the area. It also allowed me to show off the station and the great work that's being done there. And we were lucky enough to bump into Shane, who highlighted a number of the different initiatives that are happening in the Innovation Center there. So yeah, anyway, it was a great time, and I appreciate, I thought I had it all managed myself, but Friday went a little bit sideways, and so it was great to have the support of the administration in making that all happen. And shout out to the Fence and Post, who supplied us with catering, and it was amazing. So it was a great event, and thank you, Councillor Flowers, for attending.
Okay. Not seeing any other reports. I will adjourn the meeting. This meeting is terminated.